I'm dyeing yarn this week, and I'm gonna bring y'all on. These are 50-gram skeins, so I'm doing sets. What's wrong, son? He's taking a Spanish quiz, and he doesn't like Spanish.
It's useless.
No, it's not. He doesn't understand. But then again, he's not really a big fan of school in general, are you, son? Yeah, he's not going to answer me. I'm going to leave him alone now.
Yes, please do that.
I love you. Now he's going to leave. He's not happy. He'll get over it. But he's mad because on his Spanish quiz, they asked him the questions in Spanish. Why don't I give it to me in because it's Spanish, son. Yeah. Anyways, I love him. I do. But, hey, I know. Hey, Kiki. Somebody walked on the sidewalk in front of our house. She had to let me know. Anyways, so this is how I prep yarn. I use acrylic yarn as loops, so that way when I put it in the pan, I can just gather up the loops and pick them all up. But yeah. And then since I divide them up. Hold on and I'll show you. So I usually dye 3 in a pan at a time. Any more than that and the color doesn't look right. It doesn't get all over the skeins and yes, these are 50 gram. I could do more than that, but I have a plan for 4 sets. 2 Halloween sets and 2 fall sets. So the 2 fall sets will each have 2 skeins apiece. So you'll get a full 100 grams, but 2 different colors. So for each color, I put them on a shower ring. These do not go in my pot because pretty sure they'd be fine, but I don't trust it. So there's one, but yeah, once I get started setting up, I will be back. But for now, this is what I'm doing. Yay. I should have done this yesterday, but I didn't want to. So, yeah. I'll be back. Bye. Okay, step 1, done. I have 3 skeins left over, so I'm going to go ahead and prep them. However, they're not going to be dyed this time. So, but I figured I'd show y'all. This is why when I did Advents, my shoulders would be completely blown by the time I was done. Because it's a lot of twisting. So there you go. And a skein. 2 more to go. So 27 half skeins will be dyed. One of the Halloween sets are from past Halloween Advent that I've done. So one will be Nightmare Before Christmas, and the other one will be Hocus Pocus. So, and with Hocus Pocus, you get 3 skeins. 3 skeins, because there's 3 witches, 3 sisters. So, also you like these are my dye clothes that I have on. So, I tried wearing an apron over regular clothes, and half the time I would forget that they were clothes that I shouldn't be getting things on, so I'd get stuff on my hands and I'd just do this. So this is an old Bucky shirt. it got a stain on it and I just turned it into a dye shirt. Also, when we paint things, which is not very often since we finished painting the entire house after we bought it, I'll wear these clothes too. So basically clothes that don't leave the house, but yeah. So I mean, it's really covered in stains, but that's okay because I only wear this while I'm doing things like painting and dyeing yarn. So, okay, bye. Hey y'all. So, I've got my sinks all prepared, ready to go. Putting down my towel for my dishes and such, but I have to get hot water so I can mix my dyes. So, I mix mine in hot water. Always have. It helps the dyes dissolve better. I will measure this out when I get back there, but it's easier when you have a whole bunch to just fill up your jars and take it back there with you. Because I don't mix my dyes out here. Because this is the kitchen where I cook. And I do not want those dyes to go everywhere. So, and unfortunately I will not be showing you how I mix my dyes because that would be giving away my recipes for colors. So, but I have my hot water ready to go. So once I have mixed all the dyes and stuff, I will be back and show you how I prepare my table to do my dye stuff on. So, okay, bye. Hey y'all, already got the frizzy hair going and I haven't even started dyeing. I just mixed dyes. So, first off, I have to get my soak going for my yarn to soak while I set up the rest. So, I don't do hot water for this. I do room temp water. Some people add their citric acid into their dyes directly. I don't. I add it into the pan of water. But for this whole big bin, I'll do 3 scoops to soak in because we have really hard water. Not hard water. Well, not really hard. We just have hard water here. Make sure it's all good and dissolved. So this is what works for me. It might not work if you decide to start doing it. You have to figure out and experiment with your own water, which is what I've had to do. And I have found out that 3 tablespoons of citric acid in this big thing is enough. Now when I have to fill up some pots too, but, and that I'll add 3 scoops to too, and those are for my tonals. No, I won't add 3 scoops because I'm only doing 150 grams of yarn in it. Probably only be like 1.5. So, I do, however, mix my dyes by weight, not by measuring spoons. I actually weigh out my dyes and my water and all of that. So, but while we wait for this to fill up, I am going to set up the table. So probably gonna fast forward to this because it's just gonna be boring. Okay, I'm gonna turn you around because table's behind y'all. Okay, I will see y'all when this is all done. And we're done. So now I have to fill up pots and stuff, and Michael's gonna come behind y'all and not be on camera because he doesn't want to be. So now I'm gonna flip you back around. So we're gonna put the yarn in to soak, and I am, actually I'm probably just gonna soak it over here. It's just easier. Boy. It's very heavy. Okay. Since I am going to be dyeing 4 colors at a time, separate pans and pots, I'm going to put in 4 to start soaking. Ooh, you know what? I've got to twist up some of these, so hold on. One second, I'll be back. Okay, figured it out. I have 2 bundles that are gonna go in the skein. So, and what that means is I'm going to twist it into a skein and put it into the dye like that. The reason for that is because I still want some white spots on it. So by dyeing it in the skein, it will come out with some white spots on it, like where you've twisted it. There's no speckling on these first 4. There will be later. But for now, it's just a dump and go, basically. Dump it in and let it cook for a little bit. So because I use acid dyes, which means you need an acid to activate the dye. So that's why I use citric acid. And then you also use heat to heat it up so it soaks in all the way and makes it like a dye and doesn't just immediately wash out and doesn't lose color. So, which is why speckles always look darker when you dye them at first and lighten up after they've been cooked and rinsed. So, because you're not doing a dye mix, you're just doing dry dye. Right on, well, at least that's the way I speckle. You can also speckle with wet dye. I just am not as big of a fan of that. I don't use it as often. However, I am starting to like it more because less of a mess and less of the dye, the dry dye going everywhere. So because once the dye is mixed into the water, it is not an issue for breathing it in, which is why most dyers wear masks while we're working with the dry dye, because it is a powder and you don't want to breathe in that stuff. So, okay, that's all done. I'm gonna press it down in the water so it's good and soaked. So, and this is why I have shirts, just for dyeing, because this is what I do even if I have dye on them. Anyways, I'm gonna turn y'all around because it's now time to fill up my pans and my pots for actually dyeing. So since I need to completely have the skein completely covered, then I'm going to fill my pans up with water too, because that's the way I like to do in the skein. Now grab my pans. I also feel like it takes less water. But what I like to do is make sure I already have water that's hot going in the pan. because it also helps dissolve that citric acid better too. And it doesn't take as long for the water to heat up. So, and since we're only doing 3 50-gram skeins, I don't need to add as much citric acid. So I'm going to do 1.5, cut it in half since I have half in on a yarn. This is the brand I use. It is food grade, but that's just what I prefer. So, fill my pan up. And I'm gonna go ahead and add 1.5 to this pan. So it's ready to go once this one gets the amount of water that I want. And grab my pots, because I got a few little pots too. So the thing with this is you do not want to use dishes that you dye with to eat off of. Just don't do that. It's not good. Even if you think you got it completely clean, you don't want to eat any of that or have any of that in your food. So now I'm gonna go put this on my burner and turn my burner on so this can continue to heat up. Okay, I'm gonna fill up the rest of these and then I'll be back. Okay, y'all. So pots ready to go. Yarn's been soaking long enough. It's completely wet. That's what I really needed. So we're gonna put in my dye. This is going to be my Caramel Romance. I forgot. Hold on, one sec. My bin to put my stuff in so I don't set that on my counter. So this will be my Caramel Romance to go with the fall color that's going. It's going to be falling leaves. So now I'm going to grab a bundle. Okay. Have my bundle. Now then I like to shake it out just a little bit. So that way I know I'm gonna get some good coverage. So then put it in and we're going to turn. Hold on. There is, from the mill, some vegetation in this yarn and I don't want it there. That happens, by the way. Well, this yarn is clean, that's what happens. Okay, now I'm going to turn it so we get good coverage on all of it. Not sure why that one's there, but okay. Push it down. Lid on. And that's gonna cook for a little bit. About 15 minutes. Now then, we're gonna put in my next color, which this one will be Dusty Plum, which will be making its appearance for the first time in the shop. I've dyed it before. That's what I'm knitting one of my sweaters out of. My big Aran tweed one. Stir this up. Repeat the process with this color. Seems a lot darker than what it's actually going to be on the yarn too, by the way. You will see. We are going to cook this until the dye exhausts. And sometimes with the darker colors, the dye won't exhaust completely ever, like blacks and reds and some of the blues. So, but put it in, same process, dip and turn. Put it on, then we'll let it sit and cook. Okay, next up, the other yarn. I'll be back. I'm gonna rinse my hands. Got them all rinsed. Now we're gonna go this way. And I'm gonna try and set you up for this. I don't know how well it will work. Look here, haha! Okay. So, I'm actually gonna move you over one so we can do this other pan first. There. Hopefully you're set right. Yeah, you are. Okay. So now, this one, these last two are gonna be the ones that I am doing in the skein. So that way you get the cool effect of some white left over and then you can speckle over top of it. This is going to be, the beginnings of This Is Halloween. Let me grab my skeins. Okay. So when you do it in the skein, I always like give it a little extra twist, make sure the tip's not coming out, and then we're just gonna lay them in there. Really easy. And it's okay if some sticks out, because remember, we want some of the white to be showing, like this one came untwisted at the top because once you get it wet. Okay, there we go. Now I'm gonna move you back over here so we can do this other side. Beginnings of another glorious morning. Originally in the Advent, it was another glorious morning, makes me sick. But I shortened it. This is a Winifred Sanderson inspired colorway from Hocus Pocus. Can you guess what the Halloween colorways are inspired by? Put it in. Now we let it soak. So I've already got the next batch ready to go. These were not I didn't need to cover them in color, basically. Okay, so this one is amok, amok, amok. So I'm gonna put my yellow in for her blonde hair. Then the colors of her dress. And I've already turned on the burners. This is what I call line speckling. It's probably called something else, but this is just what I call it. Or line dyeing. Okay, now I'm going to give it a little bit of a press. It's okay if these colors mix, but I don't want these colors to mix into the yellow, so I'm going to use my other hand to kind of press the yellow down to make sure I'm getting all that yellow in there, because it's okay to have a little bit of white. That's what, I mean, I want a little bit of white. But, there. Now, let me go rinse my hands so I can do my next one. Okay. So this one is, I Smell Children. So first off, I'm gonna pat and make sure it's all slightly wet already. Okay, so this one has speckling. So dry speckling, so I'm gonna put my mask on. And I'm gonna sound weird. Okay, let's get our colors, our wet colors on first. Color of her dress. Get all three colors on first, then I'll go back and finish out the bottles. Okay. Next up is her hair, which is black with purple. So I'm dry speckling this bit. And I definitely want more of the black than of the purple because her hair is mostly black with streaks of purple. There we go. Now we let it cook. Okay, I'm gonna put my mask on since it's dry dye. So, I'm gonna sound really funny. Okay, so this is based on basically the opening scene. It's a very gray background and hold on, just getting my dyes ready. Okay. So, and I don't want a lot. I'm gonna do really, really light speckles. Because I still want it mostly this gray. Okay. This is another gray, but I like it because it gives me like, it stays in the little speckles better. Okay, hold on. Sorry, struggling with this one. I don't know why, I don't normally. Okay. Get some orange. Tiny bit more because I didn't get quite enough on this end. Okay. And finally, some purpley pink. Okay. Hey y'all. Oh, my hair is super crazy. So it's time to start rinsing. So I have some warm, like not really warm, but not really cold either. Just a little bit of Dawn soap. Too much and then your yarn smells like soap. Okay. Let's get these out. I know, really entertaining watching a bucket fill up. Okay. So, my Crumble Romance. First one up. Dryer does not dry them completely, but it gets enough of them out so it's not dripping and it saves my hands. Then we come over here and we hang them up to dry. Y'all enjoyed this little view into what it takes to dye yarn. It's a lot of work. I started at 8 o'clock this morning. It is now almost 4. So there. Day 2 of dyeing yarn. I only have 3 colors to do today, but these all involve dry speckling. So we have falling leaves and autumn vibes. So let's get started. Okay, now this one, I'm speckling using my fingers because I can get finer. So in order to do that, I have to take off all the lids first. That was almost a disaster. That way I'm not getting dye all over the lids. Okay, here we go. Yay! Now I'm gonna go wash my gloves because I want to reuse them. Okay, guys, last color. Put my mask on. Are we ready? Okay, this one's Jack and Sally, which means it is a half Sally, half Jack. So, and again, I am speckling using my fingers. So we're going to do half black speckles. Because it's Jack. He's black and white. Then I have some blue because Sally. Then we're going to take a lighter gray and speckle on top of that. And we're done. Okay, I'll be back once they are all dry and I'm scanning them up again. Okay, hey y'all. So I have all the sets wound up. Do y'all want to see them? Okay, so first off, we have fall, y'all. So this one has these two in them. So it's two 50-gram skeins and I've twisted them together. That's how it will come. It's Falling Leaves and My Caramel Romance together. Then the other fall inspired one is Autumn Vibes. So this one has Autumn Vibes and Dusty Plum in it. Then onto the Halloween ones, we have Nightmare Before Christmas. And that one is Jack and Sally. And this is Halloween. So, those two. This one has 3 50-gram skeins in it, and this one is Sanderson Sisters. Can you guess what it is? So we have Winifred, Mary, and Sarah. So when I dyed these originally, this one was called A Muck, A Muck, A Muck. I Smell Children, and It's a Glorious Morning. Makes Me Sick. So those 3 are together. So here we go. I still dye yarn, y'all. Just not as often as I used to. I would love to be able to dye. My nose is itchy. Right here, it's been itchy lately. I don't know. It's getting drier. That's the main thing. Anyways, I still dye yarn, y'all. Just not as often as I used to. I wish I could, but in previous episodes I have explained why. Hopefully things will get better. We'll see. But here's one of the shirts I made last week. The other one I've been wearing too. It's dirty. That's what it boils down to. It's dirty. But yeah, so I hope y'all enjoyed watching me dye yarn and seeing some of the process. I didn't show you how I reskein and all of that. Maybe some other time. I don't know. But by the time this goes up, these will be in the shop. So go grab them. With that being said, God is good. Read your Bibles. Bye, y'all.